Have you ever wondered what invisible threats might be lurking all around us? Every day, unbeknownst to us, we are surrounded by countless tiny entities that potentially pose a risk to our well-being. These entities, known as infectious agents, are the unseen invaders of our world. They are minute, they are mighty, and they are many. But what exactly are they? And how do they impact our lives? Infectious agents are microorganisms or particles that have the potential to cause disease. These could be anything from bacteria and viruses to parasites and fungi. Each one of these invaders has unique characteristics and ways of operation, making our interactions with them incredibly diverse and at times unpredictable. Yet, despite their potential for harm, infectious agents also play crucial roles in our ecosystem. They help maintain the balance of life on Earth and even within our bodies. Yes, you heard it right. Not all infectious agents are harmful. Some of them are beneficial, and some are just neutral bystanders in the grand scheme of things. Over the next several minutes, we'll embark on an exciting journey to explore the fascinating world of these invisible invaders. We will delve into the different categories of infectious agents, revealing the diversity within this microscopic world. We'll learn about how these agents hijack our bodies, turning us into unsuspecting hosts. We'll also uncover the good, the bad, and the ugly sides of infectious agents, revealing their true nature. Along the way, we'll discover the other culprits in the story of infection, those factors that aid and abet the infectious agents in their mission. We'll also examine the ways these agents travel, spreading from one host to another. And finally, we'll look at our body's defense mechanisms, our very own army that fights these invaders. So, buckle up and prepare for a journey into a world that's invisible to the naked eye, but has a profound effect on our lives. Hold on tight as we delve into the microscopic world of infectious agents. Infectious agents can be classified into 5 main types. First up, we have viruses, the ultimate microscopic hijackers. Viruses are unique as they are not technically alive. They're composed of genetic material, either DNA or RNA, enclosed in a protein coat. Viruses operate by invading the cells of a host organism and using the host's cellular machinery to replicate. They're responsible for a wide range of diseases, from the common cold to HIV. Next on our list are bacteria. Unlike viruses, bacteria are complete organisms capable of self-replication. They're incredibly diverse, inhabiting nearly every environment on Earth. While many bacteria are harmless and some even beneficial, others can cause diseases such as tuberculosis and cholera. Thirdly, we have fungi. Fungi are a fascinating group of organisms that include yeasts, molds, and mushrooms. While most fungi are harmless and play a crucial role in breaking down organic matter, some can cause infections. These infections range from superficial skin conditions like athlete's foot to more serious systemic infections. Our fourth category is parasites. Parasites are organisms that live on or within a host organism and benefit at the host's expense. Parasites include a wide variety of organisms, from tiny protozoa to larger creatures like worms. Parasitic diseases include malaria, caused by mosquito-borne protozoa, and schistosomiasis, caused by waterborne parasitic worms. Finally, we come to prions. Prions are infectious proteins that can cause devastating diseases like Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. They're unique because they're not composed of cells or viruses, but are instead misfolded proteins that can trigger normal proteins in the brain to also misfold, leading to damage and disease. Each of these infectious agents has unique characteristics which we'll explore next. Viruses, the tiniest of all infectious agents, have a unique way of causing disease. Now let's delve into the microscopic world of viruses. Picture these as the ultimate hijackers. They're so small, yet their impact is so profound. Unlike other infectious agents, viruses are not technically alive. They're essentially a piece of genetic material, wrapped in a protein coat, and sometimes cloaked in a fatty envelope. They cannot eat, breathe, or move on their own. So, how do they manage to cause such havoc, you ask? Well, their secret lies in their ability to hijack. When a virus encounters a host cell, it latches onto specific receptors on the cell's surface, like a key fitting into a lock. It then tricks the cell into letting it inside. Once inside, the virus takes over the cell's machinery, forcing it to replicate the virus's genetic material and assemble new virus particles. It's like a pirate commandeering a ship and forcing the crew to build more pirate ships. This process can cause the host cell to become so full of new virus particles that it bursts, releasing the newly formed viruses to embark on their hijacking journey, ready to infect more cells. This cycle repeats itself, leading to the spread of infection throughout the body. But viruses don't always kill their host cells. Sometimes they turn their host into a virus factory while keeping it alive, a strategy that allows them to stay undercover and evade the immune system. This is often the case with chronic viral infections, like hepatitis and HIV. The fascinating thing about viruses is that they are entirely dependent on the host cell to replicate. Without a host, a virus is just an inert particle. But give it a host, and it becomes a master of manipulation, capable of causing a wide range of diseases. So while viruses may be the smallest infectious agents, they certainly punch above their weight. Through their unique hijacking strategies, they have a significant impact on the health of organisms, from plants and animals to humans. Viruses may be tiny, but their impact is colossal. Bacteria, unlike viruses, are complete organisms that can live independently. Yes, you heard it right. These microscopic beings are full-fledged living entities, capable of surviving and thriving without a host. Now, that's quite a feat, don't you think? But here's the catch. Just like in any other species among bacteria, there are the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. Let's break it down. First, the bad ones. These are the troublemakers, the ones that can cause diseases. Anything from a minor inconvenience like a toothache to severe conditions such as tuberculosis. They invade our body, multiply rapidly, and in the process, disrupt our body's normal functioning. How do they do that? Well, some bacteria produce toxins that harm our cells, while others trigger an inflammatory response that can cause damage. But it's not all doom and gloom. Enter the good bacteria. These tiny heroes live in our bodies and play vital roles in our health. For instance, in our gut, they aid in digestion, produce vitamins, and even help regulate our immune system. They're so crucial that without them, our bodies wouldn't function properly. Now, to the ugly bacteria. These are the ones that are usually harmless but can turn harmful under certain conditions. Think of a bacteria that normally lives on your skin without causing any trouble. But if it finds its way into a cut or wound, it can cause an infection. It's not inherently bad, but given the right circumstances, it can wreak havoc. So you see, bacteria are a mixed bag. They can be harmful, beneficial, or somewhere in between. It's a fascinating world, the world of bacteria, filled with complexity and intrigue. It's a world where life is played out on a microscopic scale, and where survival depends on the ability to adapt and evolve. So, not all bacteria are bad guys. Some are crucial for our survival. Keep that in mind the next time you reach for that antibacterial soap. After all, we're living in a world teeming with these tiny yet mighty organisms. Fungi, parasites, and prions might not be as well known as viruses and bacteria, but they can still cause significant harm. Now, let's dive into the world of these less familiar infectious agents. First up, fungi. Yes, the same group that gives us mushrooms and yeast. However, not all fungi are friendly. Some species, like Candida or Aspergillus, can cause infections in humans, especially in individuals with weakened immune systems. These opportunistic infections can range from minor skin conditions to life-threatening diseases. Next, we move on to parasites. These organisms live on or inside a host organism and survive at the expense of the host. Parasites can be divided into three main groups: protozoa, helminths, and ectoparasites. Malaria, caused by the protozoan parasite Plasmodium, is one of the deadliest diseases worldwide. Similarly, helminths, or parasitic worms, can cause diseases like schistosomiasis, which affects hundreds of millions of people globally. Ectoparasites, such as ticks and lice, can also transmit diseases to humans. Lastly, we have prions. These are infectious proteins that can cause a group of rare but fatal brain disorders known as prion diseases. Prions are unique because they lack genetic material, which is typically found in other infectious agents. They cause disease by inducing normal proteins in the brain to fold abnormally. This abnormal folding leads to brain damage and the characteristic symptoms of prion diseases, such as rapid onset dementia and movement disorders. These lesser-known infectious agents, fungi, parasites, and prions, might not make the headlines as often as viruses and bacteria, but they can still pack a punch. From minor skin conditions to deadly brain disorders, they remind us that the world of infectious diseases is vast and complex. Understanding these agents, their mode of infection, and their impact on human health is crucial. It not only helps us develop better treatments, but also allows us to implement effective prevention strategies. So remember, while viruses and bacteria may be the usual suspects, they're not the only culprits. These lesser-known infectious agents are just as important to understand. Now that we know who these infectious agents are, how do they get around? Well, Infectious agents are like the world's most unwelcome tourists. They love to travel, and they will use any means necessary to get to their next destination. One of their favorite ways to get around is through direct contact. This could be as simple as a handshake, a hug, or even sharing personal items like a towel or a toothbrush. The infectious agents just hitch a ride from one person to another. But direct contact isn't the only way these microscopic invaders get around. Indirect contact is another method. Let's say an infectious agent finds itself on a doorknob or a tabletop. When someone else comes along and touches that surface, the infectious agent seizes the opportunity and jumps aboard. So, in essence, the infectious agents are using inanimate objects as their personal taxis to their next host. Now, some infectious agents are a bit more sophisticated and use vectors for travel. In this case, vectors are usually insects or other animals that carry the infectious agents from one host to another. A classic example is the mosquito, which can carry diseases like malaria or dengue fever. The mosquito bites an infected person, picks up the infectious agent, and then delivers it to the next person it bites. But it's not just mosquitoes. Ticks, fleas, and even birds can act as vectors, carrying these infectious agents far and wide. Some infectious agents can even travel through the air, like those causing tuberculosis or the flu. A simple sneeze can send these infectious agents on a journey to find a new host. So, as you can see, these infectious agents are incredibly resourceful. They have developed a multitude of ways to travel and spread, making them a formidable force in the world of health and disease. As we continue to understand better how they operate, we can develop more effective strategies to stop them in their tracks. Infectious agents are incredibly crafty when it comes to finding new hosts. It's not all doom and gloom. Our bodies have developed intricate defenses against these invaders. Let's think about our bodies as a well-guarded fortress, equipped with a comprehensive defense mechanism, always ready to safeguard us against infectious agents. This defense mechanism, my friends, is our immune system. It's like having our very own Army, Navy, and Air Force all rolled into one, and it's working round the clock to keep us safe. Our immune system is made up of a network of cells, tissues, and organs that work together to protect our bodies. It's like a well-oiled machine, with each part playing a vital role. The first line of defense is our skin and mucous membranes, acting like a physical barrier keeping out most infectious agents. If an invader manages to dodge these barriers, that's when our internal defenses kick in. Our white blood cells, or leukocytes, are the soldiers of our immune system, always on patrol for infectious agents. There are two basic types of these cells: the lymphocytes, which remember previous invaders and help the body to destroy them, and the phagocytes, which chew up invading organisms. Yes, you heard that right. They eat the invaders. There's also a system called the complement system that enhances the ability of antibodies and phagocytes to clear out microbes and damaged cells and promotes inflammation. It's like the special forces, stepping in to boost our defenses. Our immune system can also remember past battles with infectious agents. When our bodies encounter a specific invader for the first time, it takes a while to fight it off. But if the invader tries to attack again, our immune system remembers and is ready to fight it off more quickly and effectively. This is called immunity, and it's why vaccines work. But just like any other system, our immune system can be compromised. Stress, poor nutrition, and lack of sleep can all weaken our immune system. That's why it's important to take care of our bodies and keep our defense mechanisms in top shape. Our bodies are constantly at war, protecting us from these invisible threats. We've taken a whirlwind tour of the world of infectious agents. We've delved into the unseen universe of these invisible invaders, discovering the diverse types that exist, from bacteria and viruses to fungi and parasites. Each of these has its unique mechanism to cause disease, behaving like the ultimate hijackers, taking over our cells to multiply and spread. We've also explored how these agents travel, some through the air we breathe, others through the food we eat, or even the simple act of touching a surface. The good news is, our bodies are not defenseless. Our immune system is a formidable force, constantly on guard, ready to fight off these invaders. In the end, it's a complex and fascinating world, full of the good, the bad, and the ugly. But with knowledge and understanding, we can learn to coexist and protect ourselves. Remember, understanding these invisible threats is the first step to protecting ourselves against them.